Hello, teammates. Thank you for joining me for this week's Medical Director Minute. I have a handful of reminders and tidbits to go over, so let's jump right in. First, I wanted to call out a couple of important dates and deadlines for some folks. The most pressing one is that the annual compliance and safety training modules on LMS or People Fluent or whatever it is are due before midnight tonight. That's right, September 29th at 11:55 Central Time PM. Look for the link in my email or on the SharePoint site and don't be late, okay? Um, I know it's annoying and painful, but they don't take as long as you think they're going to take. Also, if you're one of my provider colleagues who are enrolled in maintenance of certification for the American Board of Pediatrics, remember that the quarterly MOC questions are due by midnight on September 30th. Follow the link in my email to log into your portfolio to make sure you're not too late. Okay, enough housekeeping. So you might notice what I'm wearing. Last weekend, I traveled to the Pacific Northwest to drop off my youngest child, my youngest daughter, for college for her freshman year at the University of Oregon. This was a bittersweet trip for me. I'm super excited for her, which is the predominant emotion, obviously. But I also have a degree of sadness and anxiety. I'd never been to that part of the country. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's so far away. And I worry about not being nearby if she needs me or if she needs something. So any positive vibes that you can send my way would be awesome. She's going to be fine. She's been ready for this for months. So she's going to do great. It's more the parental dad thing that's getting to me. So while I came home from Oregon with some new clothes so I can show support as a duck dad, I also came home with something a bit less fun. You might notice my voice is a little bit different than normal. I came home with COVID. So I apologize for the spoiler, but it does not suck any less on the third time around. I still felt miserable. For every previous offering of a vaccine or a booster, I was in line and ready to go the moment that it was released. I didn't do that this time for no good reason, honestly, and now I regret it fully. My spouse, however, received it already and well before we left on the trip. And even though I've isolated from the moment I tested positive, I assumed that the damage was done and he would get sick. And he has been totally fine so far, thank goodness. So, as the weather cools, I would offer the following words of encouragement this week. First, get your updated immunizations. I know that it's required here, but I also know that there are some of you who are resistant for one reason or another. In spite of this, I just really don't want any of you to go through anything close to what I've endured, and I just want you all to stay as healthy as possible. If you need to talk through this personally, reach out to me. No judgment, judgment-free zone. When COVID was at its worst, some of you might have seen me on social media being fairly grumpy with vaccine-resistant folks, but that was almost always due to folks trying to spread disinformation and misinformation. The difference here is that I care about all of you and really want the best for you. We might not agree philosophically, but if you want to talk it through, I'm here for you. And even if we agree to disagree at the end, I at least want to make sure I do my best to help you through. Second, please realize that you are a trusted source of healthcare information for everyone who knows you, regardless of the job you have in this service line. That's a really powerful thing. During COVID, there were surveys and polls that were done, and overwhelmingly, the voices that people trust the most and that could change their mind in this space were friends and family who were healthcare providers. So just know that your voice is very powerful in this space. The line that's being used this year is flu by boo, which just means that we're all encouraged to get our flu shots before Halloween. Makes sense, right? Don't be afraid to encourage your friends and family to get all of their shots updated and do so in a warm, encouraging way, equipped with whatever scientific backup you need. And if you need some, let me know. Finally, we have no idea what kind of respiratory season we are waltzing into. The last few have not followed the usual timing or patterns, and there are no guarantees about this year. Please proceed with the energy that is trusting and adaptable. Our masking guidance may change week by week. Policies may change week by week. We should model good hand hygiene and best practices for infection control as much as possible. Don't be afraid to hold each other accountable and be open to feedback if it's given by one of your teammates when it comes to hand hygiene and good practices. I make as many mistakes with infection control as anyone else does. And in the end, it's best to approach things with the goal of keeping everyone around us as safe and healthy as possible. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't send out a huge thank you and shout out to all of the folks who work in EVS, environmental services. So, all of our teammates that are working in environmental services, really, you are doing the most important work at keeping us all safe, and you're unsung. So, thank you. You keep us safe every single day, and we really, really appreciate you. All right, friends, that's enough for this week. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next time, hopefully with a more normal voice. I don't know. We'll see. This has been a struggle. So until then, just a reminder to wash your hands, you filthy animals. See you then.